Hello there, my name is David Perez and welcome to a new episode of the English Pro podcast. On this episode, we are going to observe something that is very important when it comes to writing for work purposes and English purposes, and that is capitalization. Yes, we are going to remember a little bit about how capital letters work in English because it might be very different from your native language. Why does capitalizing words correctly matter? Well, first of all, because it makes communication clearer. You're going to be able to differentiate a name, proper name, from a different noun. Yes, maybe a company name or a business name uses a word that is common in the English language. So you're going to differentiate that company name from the word that is common in the English language. Also, and this is essential, it's going to help you look more professional. Remember, correct grammar, correct spelling, and that includes correct capitalization makes you look more professional. Part of this, going back to the example I was giving with the company names, paying attention to capitalizing things correctly is going to help you avoid embarrassing situations with clients or with coworkers. And this has happened to me, of course. I am not free from this type of situations. It happens from time to time. So it has happened to us, for example, when I'm working with clients, that we forget to capitalize the name of a business, or we forget to capitalize a name, or we forget to capitalize a last name. And then we have complaints from the client. And of course, those complaints are correct that we didn't capitalize the words correctly. So that's embarrassing, of course, and that makes you look less professional. So using the right structure will help you have better results with clients and with coworkers. And overall, capitalization rules are important because that's how English is structured. Yes, if you are in the process of improving your English as a professional, then you should use the proper structures of the English language. That's how it works. Now, I am going to remind you of some capitalization rules. There are more. Of course, there are more, but these are like some basic ones that it's important to take into account. The first one, for those checking the video, this is not listed in the video. For those checking the audio, this is the first one. The I, when you are speaking about yourself, it should always be a capital letter. I am, I live, I go, I am a business manager. I work as a customer success agent. I live in New York City. Those I should always be capitalized. Always. Every time you're speaking about yourself, that I has to be capitalized. It doesn't matter if it's at the beginning or in the middle of a sentence. It has to be capitalized. Now, the next thing that should always be capitalized is, of course, the first word in a sentence. This sounds kind of obvious, but sometimes we make that mistake. It happens to me sometimes because usually software will add the capital letter automatically, but sometimes it doesn't, and I forget to add it manually. So it's important that you double check that the first letter in the sentence is capital. Our next point is proper nouns. As I was saying, names of people, names of companies, last names, countries should always be capitalized. And here it is important that you pay attention to maybe the specific rules of specific last names, because maybe they are from an origin different than English. So they have like particular capital letters inside the word. So you have to be observant of that. But as a general rule, the first letter Always the first letter in a name, last name, company name, country name, city name should be a capital letter. Of course, if the company name is composed of multiple words, yes, if you say the Coca-Cola company, for example, all those words, have to be capitalized, yes, at the beginning. Or if you're speaking about a city, you can say, for example, the Republic of Congo, yeah, Democratic Republic of Congo. All those words have to be capitalized at the beginning. So even if it's one word or multiple words, all of them have to be capitalized for proper names. The next one is very interesting and sometimes overlooked, and it is job titles. Job titles. If you are speaking about the CEO of a company, so that CEO has to be in capital letters. That one's easy, right? But what if we're speaking about manager or president or consultant? In that case, usually or most of the times, that title is going to be capitalized and is going to be accompanied by the last name of the person. So you're going to say, for example, President Smith or President Johnson. Or you can say Manager Rogers, stuff like that. So every time you mention the job title of a person, it is going to be with a capital letter at the beginning, and usually is going to be accompanied by the last name. Another capitalization rule in English is the names of moments, particularly when we are speaking about days, months, and holidays. Those are always capitalized at the beginning. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. All those start with a capital. November, December, January, February, all those start with a capital. Same thing if you're speaking about Christmas, New Year's Eve, St. Patrick's Day, St. Valentine's Day. All these holidays have to be capitalized. Always. It doesn't matter, as I'm saying, because it depends, of course, on what the rules are what the rules in your native language are. In this case, it doesn't matter if the words are at the beginning, at the middle, or at the end of a sentence. When you're speaking about days, months, and holidays, they have to be capitalized. And then we have another thing on a different time, on a different situation, for example. When we are writing a report, or we are writing an email, or we are writing a document for work or business. And we have two types of capitalization rule. One is the title case, and the other one is the sentence case. So title case, when you are writing the title for an email or for a document, the first letter on every word, has to be capital. For example, if you're writing an article and the title of the article is The Future of Business Communication, every letter in every word has to be capital. The future of business communication, all those words have to be capital letters. And then we have the sentence case, which we already mentioned. Yeah, the first word in the sentence is capital whenever you are writing a paragraph. When you are writing the content for the article or the content for the email, the first letter of the paragraph and the first letter after a period needs to be a capital letter. So, just a reminder, common mistakes I see when capitalizing. Very, very common mistakes. Probably the first most common mistake is not capitalizing I. I work at Google. I take the train every day to go to work. That I should always be capitalized. The second most common mistake I see is not capitalizing names of days and names of months. Those should always be capitalized. For example, if you're writing on an email, We will meet on Monday, June the 5th. That Monday and that June should be capitalized or must be capitalized always. So, recommendations to avoid these type of issues and potentially other type of issues. First recommendation is always, before you send an email, every time before you send an email, proofread it. Proofreading means double check it. Check the spelling, check the grammar, check the capitalization rules. Yes, double check it before you send it. Another very good and useful option is Grammarly or any other spelling correction tool. And I am not suggesting that you pay for it because this is not a sponsored mention to that tool. It's just I have used it and I think it's nice to use. Use Grammarly or another tool, maybe the built-in spell check in your software. And that is going to greatly help you adjust those issues. And finally, and very important, and I'm speaking about business and work areas here, is when you're working with a client or you're working with a company, always pay attention to the brand guidelines. Every company has or should have brand guidelines. And those guidelines indicate how the name has to be spelled in different situations. So if you are using a video for so-and-so, the name has to be spelled with a capital here. If the name is going to be used in this situation, so it should be spelled in full capitals. Or if the name of the person is in this situation, so it has to be capitalized in a certain way. Yes. So always pay attention to the documents that indicate for a company name, for a brand name, for a project name, for a personal name, how capitalization should be done. Well, that is everything for today. I hope you have a clearer and better idea of how to use capitalization rules in English. If you would like to learn more, you can find us on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, everywhere else. And you can also find us on our website at fluentenglishpro.com. Remember, our mission is to support professionals in improving their English language skill. So if you want to improve your English for work or for business, just contact us. We will be glad to help. That's all for the moment. Have an amazing day and see you in the next one. Goodbye.